Hey there, welcome to Hermit Haven. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jacqui. We're so excited to invite you into our safe space. Hermit Haven is like a cozy little hideout where we get to celebrate being confident in ourselves as we find happiness in quiet moments.
So grab your favorite blanket and your favorite drink, and let's dive into today's episode.
Hi, welcome to our first episode of Hermit Haven. We are coming at you
From the most magical place on earth for us.
We decided to come to Disney and do a spooky staycation so that we could have some quiet time, honestly, because we have a lot going on in our lives, and this is one of the only times that we get quiet. So here we are. We're so excited. We're in the hotel room and we're recording.
Honestly, I'm so excited too. I think I'm so proud of us. This was a journey that we've been working really hard to bring to you all, to bring a community to you all.
Yeah, we're super excited to have a community and be able to kind of bring you guys what we would normally talk about. So we'll quickly kind of just tell you who we are, and then we'll talk kind of about why we started this and kind of what our plans are for the podcast moving forward. So I'm Jacqui. I am a mom of two and a wife. I've been married nearly 11 years, coming up in October. And if I'm being honest, this year has really been a journey of rediscovering who I am beyond my roles as a mom and a wife. And I'm just kind of embracing a more confident version of myself. And that's kind of the journey that I have been on and am still on. But kind of aside from that, I love art. It's something that I used to do when I was younger and I'm bringing back into my life. And it's just been like so healing for me. I also love reading. I love baking, gardening, all that.
All the fun things.
Mm-hmm. The cozy things.
Super cozy things. I'm Ashley. I spent the last 20 years nurturing children and taking care of children. And I would love to explore Disney, find cute coffee shops, and find new restaurants. Life's been a roller coaster for me, to be honest, though. And I'm just trying to focus on growing to be a better self and creating those habits I need to get there, because let me tell you, if we unpacked my life, you would be like, wow, girl, how are you still standing? But I think that's the beauty of life, is just to keep going.
We're still standing because of caffeine. Honestly. We wanted to talk about how we met. So we technically met on Instagram. You were in Thailand?
I was not in Thailand yet, but I think our good combos happened when I was in Thailand, bored out of my mind.
She was nannying at the time.
I've been with the same family for a year. They were going to Thailand for a wedding, and they took me along with them. And let me tell you, as much as that sounds awesome, it was just cool to say that I had that experience.
We started talking about network marketing, which is something that we used to do, and we will talk more about that later on. But this podcast really is just about like, we have a growth mindset, which kind of means we love obviously growing, but we just want to become the best version of ourselves. And we constantly have conversations about how to like be better, whatever it is, or like overcome obstacles and stuff like that. So we really wanted to bring some of our conversations and things that we have personally done to women.
I think too, like that's really what sparked our interest in our friendship, was both of us having that like positive mindset. Like one of the things I told Jacqui is I've already listened to self-development podcasts, and like these are things I'm already doing for myself, and Jacqui can relate. And I feel like sometimes in life it's hard to find someone on that level where you feel that you can have these deep conversations and be vulnerable. And I think bringing that to y'all and really having you part of these vulnerable conversations, knowing that you're not alone, is something that we've been working on for years. And I think we finally found our platform and our place for it.
Yeah, I love that. So like I said, we met on Instagram and we just kind of hit it off. And how long has it been? 5 years?
It's been 5 years.
5 years.
Let me tell you though, okay, she says we just met on Instagram. It was way more than that. I was in the process of trying to find like another way to make an income, and she was doing her network marketing thing, posting in her stories, hey, all these things. And one day she posted, if I send you a video of how to make money, would you watch it? And I said yes. And that's how we started talking. And I ended up signing up for network marketing under her. about 3 months in afterwards, but it wasn't a quick decision. Like, I definitely was not ready. I was nervous. I didn't think I can do social media, which is crazy. Now, if you look at my platforms, you would never know that I was that girl that never believed in myself in social media. But I watched a video on the airplane ride home that talks about the first influencer, and I said, if she can do it, if that person can do it, why can't I?
This was 5 years ago, and back then social media didn't have all the ways to make money like they do now. It was funny how she just was not on social media at all, and now she is incredible and has all these ideas and is really the reason behind this podcast, because it was never something that I would have come up with or wanted to do on my own. Like, totally would have been too scared to do it. So it's because of her that we're here.
Literally, Jacqui goes, okay, let's just do it.
Well, we'll get into like my last year in another episode, but we've been talking about this for a year because it really has been the hardest year over the past year.
And I would say summer to summer for both of us. It's been a whirlwind.
Last February.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind.
Now it's August of the next year.
It's crazy too to think that this podcast actually kicked us in place to really put more work than we were already putting in ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think because of this podcast, our friendship even got a lot stronger.
Yeah. And I think it's like helped us like grow, but like figure out who we are even more. It's definitely been very healing for me. And like I said, we'll talk, in more podcasts about in depth more about stuff, but
it's definitely group therapy.
Yeah. But that's how we met. And then she moved to Orlando. We're speeding things up, and we went to Disney together.
Before I moved to Orlando, so our first hangout.
Okay.
Our first hangout together. I was actually going to Disney like yearly by myself, and I asked Jacqui to meet me at Magic Kingdom, and she brought her son, and we had literally the best day ever. We actually unintentionally even wore matching shirts, which is crazy because we didn't even know each other like that yet. And it was just like the vibes already matched, and we had the best day ever. And then I ended up moving here. And I would say probably in the first 2 weeks of me moving here, we hung out nonstop for a while. I know we had a rocky patch at one point where we just were doing life and we weren't there for each other. But I think that's what's so beautiful about our friendship is we've been through so many different seasons. So there is that season where we were not friends. And then there was a season where we were just business partners. And then there was a season where we were friends again. And that's the beauty about this friendship is now we're in the season where we're building a podcast.
I think that's like a whole other episode too, like the ebbs and flows of relationships, friendships, all the things. Like we all think that something's wrong when something isn't perfect, and that couldn't be like more untrue. Like everything is ebb and flow, and that's kind of like also like I keep saying the meaning of the podcast is to kind of talk about those things that most people don't talk about and how normal a lot of things are that we feel, but we feel alone. We just want you guys to know that you're never alone, because I'm sure that one of us or both of us have shared a lot of the same issues or things coming up in.
And I think that's what's awesome too is we're both in different phases in our life in a way, and we've been through different things, and then we've been through similar things. And I think, even though we can't always relate to each other, we always have like an ear, we always have the eyes out for the other, we always are thinking about each other.
Yeah. And I feel like it's kind of rare to have friendships like that, so it's really nice to just be able to have someone that you feel like you can relate to and talk to and stuff like that.
I think too that's like a mental thing where you have to squash that belief that you have to be in the same phase with the person you're friends with.
Yeah.
And I think we never had that where we believed we had to be in the same phase. We always believed in each other as a friend.
Yeah. Like we were talking before we started recording, like we're very similar, but we're so different also. And so I think that's going to be huge for, the future of our podcast and our brand and all of that, because we can just come at it from different perspectives and stuff. So,
and I think, that's why this podcast is so important to us, is because we truly are two different unique people, and we have our own perspective and we have our own stage of life, and we can be there for the different people in the womanhood in the community and really, bring this womanhood to everyone and bring a community of just feeling heard, loved, even when you feel like a hermit. And I think a lot of people are like, why did you pick Hermit Haven? And I just, it all started from something just so simple, like a text message from me and Jacqui. you know, sometimes me and Jacqui will kind of like not talk, or like we'll just kind of like space
Life
out.
happens. Life happens.
Literally. And one day Jacqui goes, "I'm so sorry, I've been a hermit." And it just started the name of our podcast, because even though I might be the more outgoing one, I'm more extrovert, I can be introvert too. And there's weeks where like I literally forget to text back people. Like my aunt has to call me twice before I even respond to her, because I'm just going through life. I can't find the mental capacity to juggle all those things. And you know, Jacqui has her own thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, it did start from a text. Like we were just not, I mean, I feel like that's kind of normal for me anyway, but like this past year was just so hard. I mean, I would use the word depressed. Like I definitely was depressed like end of last year, beginning of this year, I mean, most of last year, beginning of this year. And it was just hard for me to even text someone back, even just to respond. Like I just couldn't do it. By the way, a hermit, if you don't know what that is, I know people think hermit crabs, but a hermit is literally someone that lives in like solitude, which is why I would say like I'm sorry I've been a hermit, because I've just been like hiding in my house, like just needing to my space to heal. And so when we kept using that together, each of us, because we were both going through a lot of stuff. And so when we wanted to come up with a name for the podcast, we wanted to use the word hermit in it. And so Hermit Haven just felt
it's a haven. It's
a
a place,
haven.
the safe place for
Yes.
everyone.
We need a safe, non-judgmental place where we can just like empower each other and grow.
I think that's something too, is so many people expect a response. They expect that, you know, you expect that that person's going to be mad that you didn't respond. You're going to, you know, and I think it's getting out of that idea that it's okay, that this is okay, that I'm a hermit. This is okay, that I need time to myself. And I think, you know, growing in that sense that we need to squash these beliefs. We need to squash these negativity things in our head that are, you know, the voices in our head almost that are taking us in a place that we don't need to be.
Yeah. It's almost like we're squashing the people pleasing tendencies that I feel like so many people these days have. Like, you just want to make sure that no one's mad at you and all this stuff. And no one was mad at me. Like, everyone understood, especially since what it's been going on. But, like, regardless, we're busy. Life is busy. And I have kids and you don't, but you still have so much life going on. Like, it doesn't matter. So, yeah.
We'll unpack more in the next episode, more about us. We have a whole episode dedicated to really diving into who we are more as a person.
Yeah.
But when we tell you we have a lot to unpack with you all, we really want you guys to know who we are, because we both think, even though we're not someone special, we're not, you know, the president.
We're not special.
Well, we're special in who we are, but we're not like, we don't have these like awesome roles in this like, you know, world where we're like teachers or like, I mean, I was a teacher, but
big influence.
Yeah, like we're just, you know, we're just two women that feel that our stories are powerful, and feel that our stories can empower other people, and feel that our stories, you know, and are always wanting to find a better way, always wanting to find the good, always wanting a better tomorrow, is powerful.
Yeah. I'm constantly trying to like romanticize my life and be like, okay, how can we make these little mundane tasks that we don't really want to do seem so much more fun? And just, you know, because there are so many people in this world that wish that they could do those mundane tasks that can't, you know? And so it's like figuring out, how do I make these things seem fun, even though it's something we do every day, and sometimes it's not always that fun. But
and I'm here just like rolling on millions of adventures, like always a new adventure for me, a whole new risk-taking moment, like, you know. And I think it's getting past these thoughts in my head that I can't do it, because I know I can. You know, whenever I have those thoughts I can't do it, I reflect on all the things I can do.
Yeah.
And I think that's another powerful thing.
Yeah. So kind of that's what our podcast is going to be about. We're going to definitely get into more about us, be a little bit more vulnerable. We've kind of like hinted at some stuff in the podcast, but it's basically us just sharing things that we talk to each other about. And we're just constantly talking about how to be better and how to be happier and how to find more joy and, you know, how to let go of the people pleasing tendencies and all the things. So it's just us healing on this journey.
And I think too, like, you know, this is a big step for us. We are opening up our private conversations with the world. And telling things that I don't think most people know about me.
Yeah.
And, I think that is a whole nother level. And so it's going to take time for us to be completely, fully open. But I think every episode is going to get us closer to this goal of creating just completely raw, like, it does not matter what we say. It is what it is.
It's supposed to be non-judgmental, so if you're judgmental watching, then this is not the place for you, or listening. So kind of what we are expecting for our podcast, we definitely want to do weekly podcasts on Wednesdays. I feel like the hump day is like the day that it's a hump. I don't know, like people think of hump day and then it goes downhill. And so we just want to be like that, like fun and inspiring like message at the middle of the week so that you can kind of use it to get through the rest of your week.
We want to be the midday sunshine, the rainbow in the week instead of the storm.
Yeah. So that's kind of, we're going to be every Wednesday.
But for now, we're going to start bi-weekly and work our way weekly, I think, too.
Yeah.
We're still in the process.
We'll see. Yeah. But eventually, weekly Wednesdays is what we're aiming for. And we also already have our Instagram and TikTok, and we are on YouTube as well. So we're going to be on all the platforms. We have done social media. I mean, I've been utilizing like social media for business building for like 10 years now.
Jacqui is really a super boss.
For a very long time. I'm not going to say I'm an expert or anything, but I know a lot. And so we're going to be using those platforms and trying to make it fun to grow our followers and just be a little more.
I think it's special too, because one of the things like we've talked about our YouTube is instead of it just not being a place where we upload episodes, but really we want to use these platforms as a place to show you the backside of these recordings and show you our adventures together and show, us doing all the things in life and, just checking on each other. And I think that's what's special about these platforms too. It's not just for advertisement. It's not just to push out our podcast episodes. Like, we really want you guys to be part of every step. And I think the one thing that's going to be special about eventually we want to have like a place where we have a group where everyone can be part of it, and it can be a community of women that are reaching out to each other for whatever. And, if it's, hey, does anyone have a good recipe for bread? Or, hey, does anyone know a good place to visit in San Antonio? Like, I can't wait to just see that grow.
Yeah.
And, someone asked me the other day where I see myself in 5 years. And I told them, this is where I see myself. I see myself with Jacqui building a community of women that feel empowered by who they are.
Thanks. Thank you. I love you.
I love you
too. We are, if you can't tell, very positive vibes only. So that's the standard that we're going to set and the boundaries that we're going to set for our social media and all the things. By the time this is uploaded, we should have our vlog up about like this whole little staycation and kind of the
making of a podcast.
Yep.
And kind of like our journeys to get there.
Yeah.
And I think, besides having all that up, when we get this podcast up, this is really the first step to a beautiful future.
Yeah. I love it. I love that you keep using the word community, because that's something that I feel like so many people are looking for. Like, they want a positive community that they can go to. And that's really what we've set for each other, but we would love to like expand it for more people.
Yeah. So. And I think too, another thing is like when you're saying about positivity, like we can be negative, but that's something we're working on. And I think we're going to work on this together. It's not just me and Jacqui working on it. Y'all are with us. You're part of this journey now. You're part of everyday movement and everyday steps to success.
Yeah. I mean, life is hard, so it's not like all going to be rainbows and sunshine and butterflies, but we try to take it and do what we can and kind of move along in the best way that we can to be better. So,
and I think just get ready for some real life episodes. You might need to bring some tissues for some of them, but
maybe, yeah.
There's some deep ones.
Yeah. So we're excited to see you on the next episode. We'll be talking a little bit more about us. So you'll get just a little bit more about who we are and us moving forward. Thanks for spending time with us today and being part of our Hermit Haven community.
We hope you enjoyed our cozy chat and are inspired to embrace your inner hermit.
Remember, even in the quiet moments, you're never alone on this journey, because we are truly all in this together.
So until next time, stay cozy, stay true to yourself, and keep spreading love wherever you go.
Bye for now.
We'll see you next time.